quite terrifying. Good evening and welcome to Evidence Pending. I'm Michael Lee Pennock and this is my paranormal life. Back in 2014, coming into early 15, I lived at a place in a little East Cleveland village, and I moved into the property. I'd been sleeping in a field and a little forested area for quite some time, and winter came and I managed to get myself a place with the help of some family members and friends, and had a little 2-bedroom ground floor type of all-in-one flat. And I moved in. It was not long before Christmas, and the first night I was there, all I had was a sleeping bag, a Walkman, a roll mat, and my camping stove, and a bottle and metal mug. I moved into the front room of the property, which I was using as a bedroom, and put my sleeping bag on the floor and began to listen to Guns N' Roses, and went to sleep in my British Army sleeping bag, which is a old 58 pattern. Sometime during the early hours of the morning, something jumped on me and I felt an insane amount of pressure on my chest area. Obviously it woke me up, and as I opened my eyes, there's a black shadow figure on me, literally kneeling down on me, and it began throttling me, physically throttling my throat, and I tried to grab it and I couldn't grab it, and I was in absolute panic. I managed to turn around and it was still trying to throttle me, and it was actually physically hurting me. I was absolutely in a fight for my life, and somehow, I don't know what I did, but I managed to get it off me, even though I couldn't actually physically touch it, and it went up the wall and what I thought was out of the building. Obviously I didn't sleep again that night, and I left the house and walked up and down the street till the sun rose, and then went back in. The next day, on the night time, I came in, got my sleeping bag, thought maybe it didn't happen, maybe I imagined it, and tried to put it off, because I'd been living rough for some time. The next thing I know, I've got a glimpse at the corner of my eye of something moving in the corner, in the shadows, and this same thing crawled down the wall, literally, and then leapt off straight onto me, and again tried throttling me. This time I could vaguely make out some sort of features of its face, and it didn't have any physical eyes as we've got eyes, but they were black. Everything was black, but you could see the features, and it seemed to have hair, which was only described as dreadlocks, even though that's probably not exactly a fitting description. Anyway, it was throttling me. I managed to wrestle, got it off me, and I couldn't get to the door, because when it jumped off, it stood in front of the door. I managed to get out of the room, and it went where the front door was. So I ran into the other room, which was at the front of the house, and I was greeted by this smell of flowers, and I saw it approach, but it wouldn't come in. It just stood at the door looking, and I was absolutely petrified at this point. And I remember just literally edging forward and closing the door and looking out, and thinking, I'm going to have to stay in here, I'm staying here. And was this sweet smell of flowers. Anyway, the next few weeks, I had a nightly occurrence of the same thing happening, and I told friends and family about it, and people came round to visit, and obviously it all left, and the moment they left, this thing would come back, but it wouldn't enter that front room, and every time it came, that strong smell of flowers seemed to ward it off, even though there were no physical flowers there. Sometime later, I was outside on the night and I got speaking to one of the neighbours, and I have to mention, you know, I'd been having a really rough time. I didn't explain what, but he could see I was visibly shaken. He said, well, you could always start me mine if you want. I've got a spare room. And I said, yeah, I'll took you up on it. And he had the 2 floors above mine. So the next day I handed him my keys into there, moved into his property and thought, yeah, I know it's going to be okay. And I was asleep at the top floor, which is 3 floors up. And I was awakened by throttling again. And so I spent the next few months sleeping in the guy's front room, which was above the place that smell of flowers came. And yeah, the guy was a really good friend to me and helped me out a lot at a very dark time in my life. That's the story. I call the place Damned End, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, you know, these sort of things happen to people, and they're not the norm. They seem to be the normal in my life, and all I can say is that sometimes they're harrowing and not something you'd want to experience, especially if you're not in a good mindset. So even though about 11 years has passed, I still get a bit of a nervous feeling walking past here. I really don't like to be in the vicinity of this property in the night time, purely because of what happened in here. It's a very short story, but it does cover a few weeks of my life. Quite a few things happened in the house, and I was forced to return there for a couple of months another time, but that's another story. I'll catch you all on the other side. Take care.